Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. Video number 3 of the day. I think I am broadcasting to the right tab now, too. Sorry about that earlier. Although things are happening quite quickly and in an exciting fashion. So let us dig in here because perhaps you saw I did earlier today a video looking at the option board. And we're going to cover that because let's say it's if you looked at it as the fourth quarter of a game, there's still time left on the clock, but things are getting quite interesting. Real quick before we get started, today's video is brought to you by Dolly Varden Silver and my dear friend Sean Kunkin who took over Dolly Varden. So I know there's a lot of you guys out there that say, "Oh, I've heard about Dolly for years, but I'm not touching it again." Although I would just say that, again, I'm not allowed to give legal financial advice because the CFTC has such stringent codes to keep everyone safe. But just as a suggestion, maybe you could go to the Arcadia page, click that circle thing, type in KHUN, and watch one of these. And at least you'll see why I like Sean and what he's doing with Dolly Varden. And with that said, certainly if you're expecting a rise in the silver price, then that's the kind of stock you might want to be aware of. And speaking of our silver price, as promised, you see now that silver at 28.14 bid, 28.24 offer. Going to do a little magic trick here. Yes, it's above $28. Okay, Chris, thank you for that brilliant analysis. Why did you call us all here to tell us that? And I'm going to tell you, there we see 28.30 on the silver contract. And I believe it shows down here. We're still looking at the March contract because earlier today in that option video, we looked at the board. I'm not sure if this is updated yet for today. I would assume not, but you have 691 contracts, of which the banks are often short. So those are in the money. You have a 533 on the 27.50 strike. And then here you have this 955 on the 28 strike. Now keep in mind, look at what happens here at 29. You have another 920. And then certainly there's a lot of paper at the 30 strike. Now we're a bit a ways away from there, and I guess I want to put this in the right context for some mind-boggling reason that I'll maybe one day figure out in some therapy or something. Despite being a former option trader, I only really started tracking what happened around the option expiration. Last month I was looking into it. I mean, I'd always heard it was gamed and rigged, and I guess that's the blind spots the mind creates. So I'm always looking for mine. I'm happy to acknowledge it is baffling that I've only started studying this last month. So if there's any reason why I'm not saying this with full confidence, I'm factoring in I'm a little new to this particular element of it, although I did discuss this with Dave Kranzler right before I started this video, and saw that video he made was back in 2014. I don't know how long he's been doing this, but I'm not going to speak for him, but I think that I'm looking at it right. Again, you can make your own conclusions, but it seemed that typically based on this, that you would have expected the smackdown before $28. Again, keep in mind that there is still time on the clock. It has not expired yet. And it's just my guess. You would think that there would be like a wrath of God paper dump on the markets in the next 24 hours. Here are the puts. So you see a bit smaller. So if it goes below 28, I mean, again, there's a lot of generalization in this. I don't know who owns what. Usually it seems like it's the banks that are selling these puts, customers buying. You know, I can't see why that would have changed this time. So, but I just want to be clear. I'm not trying to, and this is just my thoughts and research. So don't go out levering up because of this by all means. But just looking at the board. So you would have thought, you know, they probably wouldn't if someone was short all these, whoever that would be, wouldn't want it to go below 27 if they are short those puts. So I would have guessed somewhere between 27 and 28 would be the sweet spot. Maybe if you look back at the calls here, so the 2750s, I would say maybe even the sweet spot would be 27 to 2750 based on all of that. And again, you see 28 right now. So I guess I'm saying what is the point of all this? Well, we'll find out tomorrow, but I'm a little bit surprised to see that it has already gone through 28 is just my feeling. I will add also that you look at the 30 line. Now that would be, gee, we could do a round table. What is the probability of silver going above 30 tomorrow? I don't know what it is, but it'd be awfully fun to discuss just when you think about the different things that are in play there where, how often do you get a $2 move after you just had a $1 move in silver? Not too often, but this is also the first time I've ever had people emailing me, telling me of their customers or people they know taking delivery of COMEX contracts. And I would say if I were taking delivery, I would take the metal out of there or at least pressure them to do so. And if anyone does attempt to take delivery and they're refused for any reason, you can email us through the site in the contact tab. I'd love to hear about that. And I guess maybe just the last thought before we wrap up, or actually two last thoughts. First, well, the first one is that it's like when you don't see any of this, and maybe it's not an accident that, you can get like hours of coverage of Kobe Bryant's latest jump shot, or sorry, that's not bad choice of example, but like the way in sports, anything is covered, and ESPN all throughout the day, you have the different, 18 shows covering what the last football team did. You have none of that in silver, which is part of why we started doing the channel here. Because Dave Kranzler did a video 6 years ago. Craig Hemke covers it. Another reason, I think right now that you can get his information for $12 a month. I'd certainly recommend that. But it's like for a while, even me who had a background in it, I was kind of doing these things blind. And then over the years, there's different things. There's so many different elements of silver, but 1 month you'd look at this one and then it becomes habit, and at least you can start to have some more context and some more clues so that it can make sense to people. And then it's been quite fun explaining what I've found to others, and also having the people I'm fortunate enough to bring on the show I was listening to all these guys for years and then getting to talk and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. And, is anybody seeing the same thing? And often that was the case. And now it's nice where certainly Rob Keynes is doing some incredible things over there. And a lot of other people were just giving different perspectives, which I think is the whole point, to give people fair and honest information. And anyway, so this is what I'm seeing. Again, not legal trading advice, but Craig Hemke did have a good column on that. Last thing before we wrap up, this is still looking a little strange to me. I guess there can be errors on the chart sometimes. That seems bizarre that there's just that one blue spike. And then I don't know what to make of this, where you see, look at the whole thing's lit up that red half of the chart, and then there's no volume. So like they've abandoned the COMEX and they've just gone home and are again. And then what to make of this, where now, in all fairness, I know some people say, well, don't they manipulate the markets up and down? Absolutely. I think the long-term net effect has left it a lot lower, but to not see this, I would imagine this has to be an error. After doesn't, I don't know what to make of that one. So we'll see if that chart gets updated. That's what I see someone said Jamie Dimon wants to be on the next round table. Well, that would be interesting. We'll see. That's a little just odd to me, given everything that's happening. Hey, again, I don't know. Maybe that's normal. The Monday before the option expiration, I'll do some more research into that. But I don't know. Is the plan let it go up and then at midnight or 2 a.m. New York time? I couldn't tell you, but at least here's the option board. So if you wake up tomorrow and silver's above $28, let alone if it's $29 or at least, again, we're dealing with imperfect information. Hey, maybe there's something I don't know about, but I would think that would be an indication of something getting a bit out of control. If it's above $29, even more so. But then when you see this, I mean, if there was ever, with whatever happens with the paper tonight and the people that are taking delivery, I mean, if we see silver above $30 sometime tomorrow, I don't know what the probability of that is, but that would certainly be perhaps rather historic. So either case, that's why if I may give advice on anything, it would be to hit that subscription button and the notification bell. I will be keeping you posted. And thanks as always for being here. And I'm sure we'll probably have some more news to report later tonight. And I will see you then.